Hello and welcome back to another video, guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are in the month of March. Yay, March. Today we're going to be talking about motherhood and a lot of things that I've been seeing online recently has been talking about regretting having kids or not wanting to have kids and all sorts of things. And that's been on my mind, mainly because I just returned to work and I'm missing my baby girl because, I'm at home with her for an entire year and then you're like thrust back into the workforce. And it's only been a couple of days, but yeah, it's just been a little sad. But I guess because I looked up one video, it's kind of threw a lot of stuff at my feed that's just been like parents regretting their kids and I wish I never had children and la 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 la. And I'm like, this is a good topic to talk about in our little coverage chats. So I thought, why not? I mean, some of the things that they did say in these videos, I resonate with, and some of them I don't. And I'm just giving you my little 2 cents on the whole thought process while I am putting my dry grapes into mason jars. So I always wash my grapes every time I get them. Well, all my fruits, realistically, I wash them. I mean, you should. But I do a deep wash with a bottle of apple cider vinegar. I just put a little bit in there, 1 teaspoon with water, and use that to soak them to get all of the residue off. I'll show you what it looks like actually because I saved it for you guys. Hold on. How do I show you? All right, so this is what my water looks like. This is after washing it, right? It's dirty, so you gotta wash your things, right? Not just put it under the water for a few seconds. So I leave them out to dry on a cloth and some paper towels to absorb all of the moisture, and then I put them into my mason jars. And I do this for berries. I do this for grapes. I do this for anything that I'll decant into my mason jars. So yeah, if you guys want to do that, definitely do. I'll show you one second. So this is the apple cider vinegar I use. I think everybody uses this. I don't know what other brands there are, but this is the one that we've always used in the house, even when I was little. So I just use the same thing now. And then I just use a teaspoon or 2 of that in the water and soak the grapes. So I recommend that you definitely wash your fruits and vegetables, guys. They also last longer in the fridge if you do them that way and decant them into your mason jar. So I'm just putting these away. So I thought I'd have a chat with you. So yeah, I returned to work this week and it was kind of sad. And I didn't think I was going to feel so sad because I actually really was looking forward to going back to work, mainly because I like my routine. I like having a set schedule and everything like that. Not that I didn't have a set schedule with Minerva while we were home, but my schedule is very different and very much surrounds her and what she needs. Where my schedule at home doesn't really do that. So yeah, like not my schedule at home, my schedule for work doesn't really do that, where I spend the day with her and then my afternoons and evenings, because I'm on the evening shift for work, deals with, she's not with me. She hangs out with her dad and her brother and her uncle, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I was watching a couple of videos, I think last week or the week before last, kind of like in preparation to going back to work, and it kind of sent me in a weird direction where there was a discussion and topic about people in like this new day and age kind of regretting having children, that they wish they hadn't done it, or that they hadn't had so many kids, or that they had put off having children. And I understand where they're coming from with that. I mean, first off, there's a huge financial burden to having multiple children, right? The economy does not sustain having multiple children. It really doesn't. And it's very unfortunate that that's the case, because I'm sure people would have children if they are able to provide for them in the ways that they feel that they need them to be. It is not like back in the day where you could have 8 kids and, you know, you're still able to sustain a decent lifestyle for your children and for yourself. It's not really possible now. I mean, just going to the grocery store alone is drastic. It's an abomination to be able to price food out at that much, especially when majority of the proceeds from that food doesn't even go to the people who work within the community, ends up going to these overarching grocery store chains that are owned by the same 3 people. So I get it. I remember back when we were in school, they taught us home ec. I don't know if they still do that in school now. Malachi's not at the age where he would be learning that sort of thing. But when we were going to school, they taught us home ec. And home ec was, teaching you taking care of a baby. I think in the early stages, it was like they gave you an egg. Then eventually they gave you a baby to take home and work with a partner. And sometimes you had like they strapped on like the belly thing on you, depending on which class you were in. And it just taught you responsibility, the importance of parenting and child rearing. And with the home economics cooking classes, it would teach you, the basics of cooking, the importance of it, proper nutrition, and that sort of thing. I think those classes are still important and still needed in the schools, because not everyone has the parenting to be able to teach you to do those things. I mean, for me, I learned how to cook when I was 5 years old, so that's not something that I needed to learn how to do, but it is very different cooking Jamaican food in comparison to cooking Canadian food or food that's made here. So having to learn those things, I mean, I appreciated it. I learned new ways of cooking, but at the same time, I already knew how to do those things. We were keeping a house, or at least I was keeping a house from I was 5, and then by myself at the age of 10, because my mom had to work 2 jobs, and I had many siblings. I'm like one of 6, 7. That doesn't even include like half siblings and step siblings and stuff like that. So yeah, it's oh, this is what my grapes looks like in the jar. So back then you would get help from the older kids. I mean, that also caused a burden as well onto the older kids. I know that it did, because I raised my younger brothers, right? So that in itself puts pressure on the older children, where that also negates them wanting to have children for themselves as well. Like, I didn't see myself having 8 children. That wasn't in the cards for me. 1, maybe 2. I was content with 1. Once Malachi reached 5 years old, I was like, cool, he is self-sufficient. I didn't need to do anything. He could eat by himself. He cooks his own food. Like, he gets up every morning, makes his breakfast. Like, I don't really need to do anything. So starting from scratch again, that was daunting to me. And then at the same time, I was also having a girl, so that was very different. I was used to boys because I have 6 brothers. So I'm very much used to what boys are able to do, and how to usher them to do certain things. With girls, it's very different. So thinking about that, of course, that thought process will come through as to why you don't feel the need to want to have children, because you're just like, that's just a lot of pressure. I want to have my freedom. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. Like, I traveled when I was young a lot. Now I kind of have to decide how I'm going to travel, how I'm going to travel with the kids, how we're going to split up the vacation, like where the money is going to go. And you're buying like twice as many things because you got to buy a ticket for every kid now, and that sort of thing. So traveling is a lot harder to do. So I get when these younger, I call them kids, because if you're 20 and you're having children, you're young. You're a child having a child. You have not, you're like, your brain has not even fully developed yet at 20. And it doesn't even really help with social media either, because social media push this narrative of like, oh, babies are cute, and people have these babies as like accessories. And I'm just like, it's not something that you just go and you dress them up and you push them in their cute strollers that are cost like $700 to buy a stroller, like things like that. It's all cute and everything, and putting on the little outfits and putting them on social media and stuff like that. That's fun, but that's like 10 minutes of the day. That's not the baby's up all night crying and having to figure out what they want because they can't tell you. They rely on you for everything. They need emotional support and stability from you. And sometimes you're not emotionally stable, right? I do recommend going to therapy, guys. Find yourself a therapist. You can find one through your family doctor. You can find counselors within your communities. Put yourself on a wait list and get talking to somebody to help, deal with any of those stressors that you have. But a lot of people don't do that, right? And also with social media, they glorify what it's like to be a mother. Yes, being a mother is a lovely thing, but it's not for everybody. I don't think everyone should have children. There are people who have kids that I'm just like, you should not be within the vicinity of a child. And then there are people who have wanted children their entire lives and they couldn't have them. And I understand the desperation of wanting that as well. So there's a pro and a cons to all of it. And I think that the important part is you need to sit and think about why you're actually having children, or why you want to have children, or why you feel the need to. Are you just having it because society is telling you that you should have children, or are you having children because you want to have children, right? You also have to think about the fact that your body is going to go through changes. You're not going to look the same as you did prior to having a child. And sometimes people are very surprised by the shock, because sometimes you will see a photo of like a person before and after a baby and they're just like, oh my God, you bounce back so quickly. It's like, well, not everybody's like that. Some people keep the same with their physique. Like my physique is pretty much the same from my first pregnancy to my second, but there was a drastic difference from not having a child to becoming pregnant and having a child. It's different. Your body is different. Your things aren't as percolated as they used to be. So it's like keeping those things in mind. Like, are you going to be okay with the changes in your body? How much work are you willing to put your body through to get back to how you were? A lot of the times those photos that you see online with these people snap back, they've gone through surgery. They go and work out all the time at the gym to get there. Are you able to put that sort of work in? Granted, you still need to do some sort of activities and workouts and whatever to keep your body fit, but to be able to have abs and all of those types of things, you got to think about that. Are you able to do and put in the work? That's hours into the gym to do that. And if you don't have the capabilities of doing that, or the financial, the money just sitting around to be able to do that, can you? You have to think about those things. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of judgment to people who don't want children. I know I've had conversations with friends before where it's just like a thought that you're a woman, you were put on this earth to have kids, but there's no guarantee that's going to be the case, right? At the same time, not everybody wants that. And I don't think we need to ridicule people for not wanting that, especially if they've made a conscious decision to be able to live their lives the way they see it fit. And I hate when the response is, oh, but you're going to need someone to take care of you when you're older. It's like, well, you shouldn't be having children to take care of you in the first place, because your children should not need to take care of you. Yes, you can, of course, want to be around your children as you're older and that sort of thing, but your kids are also going to be living their own lives. They're going to be their own adults, and they're going to live in a way that they indicative for themselves, and that doesn't necessarily may include you. Do I think that we should live together in a group society? Would it be easier on you? Of course, because back in the day, that's what we used to do. Grandparents used to live down the road or even in the same house or compound as the family. Back home in Jamaica, we do that. The grandparents end up coming to live with you, or they live in a house in a close vicinity and you'd go over to assist when needed. But that's not every culture. That's not Canadian culture. It's not American culture, right? Where, yeah, sure, grandpa's going to be there to help you, but usually by the time you've worked for 30 years or 40 years, you're going into this retirement stage. You're not thinking retirement is taking care of your kids' kids. You know, you've already done the part of taking care of kids. So sometimes grandparents nowadays are kind of they're apprehensive to be involved with that because they want to live their lives too, because they spent their entire 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s working to take care of their own children, to provide a world in which they can, you know, do whatever it is that they need to do. So you should not be having children and expectations that they're going to take care of you. Would I love the idea for me to live with my son forever? Yes. For my daughter to come and take care of me? Sure. But is that the expectation? No. So we've set ourselves up in a way that it's not really needed in that sense. We bought property that's outside of the city that gives us land where we can build on it, add another house if we needed to, not only just for income coming in, but also if we wanted to stay there, that's more accessible. We looked at houses that have rooms on the main floor. Like this house, it has a full functioning apartment on the main floor. So eventually when we can't take the stairs anymore, we'll just live downstairs in that apartment, right? And the upstairs could be there for the kids if that's what they want. And if not, that's also okay. Right? So it's, you have to create the lifestyle that you think you're going to live in the future and save for those things in preparations that you may not have your children there to take care of you. Do I want my kids to come and visit? Of course, and they must, because I will drill that into their head until they're old and gray. But at the same time, I'm not expecting them to give up their lives to take care of me either. I make sure that I am saving money and putting money aside because I may need a nurse in the future. But that's my thought process on it. I don't know what yours is. You guys are free to tell me in the description how you feel about anything that I've said. But let's try our best not to judge the young folk. The people, well, not even the young folk, because some parents who are older who've had kids also have said that they wish they hadn't had children, or they wish they hadn't had so many kids, or, you know, they would have just stopped at one and that sort of thing. Whatever the thought process may be, I think that we should have an open mind to allow people to communicate how they're feeling about these things. I think more than not, it's the fact that they have to repress how they're feeling that is causing a lot of the turmoil, or a lot of this negative communication that we're getting about not wanting to have children, or, you know, regretting having children. I don't regret having my children. I love my children. I love having them. Do I want to spend more time doing things that I want to do? Of course. But that's just me being selfish, and I'm allowed to be selfish because it's my life. But the choices you make within said life will reflect on whether you have those regrets or not. So I don't currently have any regrets about it. Check back to me in like 10 years and I'll see how I feel when I'm paying for college. And then we'll see. Yeah, so I mean that's all I have to say really. That's just my little tidbits on it. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Let's have a little chit chat about it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you regret your children, I'm sorry that that's how you feel. And I hope you feel better soon. Okay, bye guys.